I'm gonna start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the September 17th Chesapeake Beach Town Meeting. I'll begin by taking a roll call to indicate that the entire town council, to include the mayor, are present. At this time, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the
of the
United
United
States
States of America,
and to the
to
republic
the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
and justice for all.
with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. If I can, I believe when we were, well, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with this. Okay, approval of the minutes of the July 16th, 2020 Town Council meeting.
Mr. Mayor, did you want to take any public comments on the agenda?
Thank you, sir. Just making sure there. At this time, is there any public comment on any item on the agenda? Thank you, Larry. Hearing none, I'll move forward to approval of the minutes of the July 16th Town Council meeting.
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any ayes have it. Approval of the minutes of the July 16th Town Council closed session.
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any ayes have it. We got some fun stuff coming up on the agenda. First, is Joni Kilman on the call?
I'm here.
Well,
Hey, Joni.
that's wonderful. I think everybody wants to give a hey Joni out there, or a virtual hug, or whatever it is that we're missing these months, I might add.
One of the most missed staff people in Chesapeake Beach in IMHO.
Oh, that is so nice.
if not the. So I'll give you the floor, Joni.
Well, thank you. And it is so nice to see everyone, or to see your name, as my name just appears. I don't have a camera on my home computer, and that's worked out very well. Anyway, Mayor Mahoney, council, and members of the community, it really is my pleasure to come to you tonight to tell you about this year's One Maryland, One book. It is called The Island of the Sea Women by Lisa C. It's the 13th year this program has been sponsored by the Maryland Humanities Council, as well as other major corporations. As you all know, one of the joys of reading is sharing the experience with others. And that is just what this program is all about, encouraging Marylanders to read the same book around the same time and getting together to discuss it. Calvert Library is proud to be part of the process. We will be holding virtual book discussions at each branch, and a special interview with the author, Lisa C., will take place October 6th via Zoom, as we've all come to love. Twin Beaches Library will be hosting our book discussion on October 13th. Mayor Mahoney, I dropped off your copy today at the town hall. I know you are an avid reader, and I'd love to there he goes, he's got it. I'd love to discuss it with you. So just let me tell you quickly what the story is about. The theme this year is friendship. Young Suk and Mija are divers who live on an island off the coast of Korea. Their story spans 50 years as they dive for abalone and octopus and other delicacies under the sea. Their island is a very special matriarchal community of strong, determined women. Their strength and determination is also revealed in their friendship from the 1930s to 1980s. You learn a lot about those tumultuous years in Korea, as each woman tries to hold her family together while maintaining island culture and tradition. It's actually quite fascinating. If anyone would like a copy of the book or to download it, I encourage you to call us and we will walk you through the process. Oh, and by the way, you can now walk right into the library. We have very happily reopened with limited services, limited hours, and limited numbers of customers in the building. And we take the utmost care in sanitizing all surfaces. We all hope to see you soon at the library.
That's you, Joni.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate it and look forward to seeing you. And I can't wait to start reading that book.
That sounds great.
I think Judy might beat me to the first step though, but I'll get to it.
She's a strong, determined woman. She will identify.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you all for having me, and have a good meeting.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hi,
Joni.
Joni.
Bye-bye.
Next, we have Randy Getman, the chairman of the election board. He's going to give us an update. As we all know, we don't, they're independent of the mayor and town council. While we don't direct him or the board what to do, we certainly love to hear from him. So, Randy, the floor is yours.
Okay, so everyone got my pre-read, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to just make a couple of points before you guys get started with questions. And the first one is, I want to advise and ask all candidates and of course all board members currently to advise their fellow voters to request an absentee ballot. And the board has made some changes this time, making it, once you get your absentee ballot, which you almost just call a mailed ballot, you have multiple ways to vote it. You vote your ballot and you can drop it off at the drop box out in front of the town hall, the side entrance. You can mail it. You can now, we've decided you can bring that ballot in with you on election day and use it. You have to go through the registration process. We give you a voter authority card. And if you pre-voted it, you can go right to the scanner, scan your ballot, and on your way. If you haven't pre-filled it out, we'll send you to a table. You can vote, and you can take that ballot and put it in the scanner, and you're on your way. Another point is we have added applications to the, we put some forms outside. Since the town hall is not open, it's tougher for some people to get the applications. Most people can use online and print it, and that works really well. Holly's done a wonderful job of putting all the election stuff up on our town website. It's very accessible. It's very easy to follow. But I've added a little box on the side of the ballot. It's on the right side of the ballot box. And Holly's got a picture of it on the website too. But you can pick up an application there. So town can pick up an application and they can go vote it. I'm sorry, they can request their absentee ballot. The other thing that we've added is the board, each one of our board members is going to do a weekend ballot pickup. So we're going to be in the foyer of the town hall on the 17th of October, the 24th of October, and the 31st of October from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, where any voter can come in, get an absentee ballot application and/or pick up their ballot. Another thing to point out is that on election day, anyone coming inside town hall to vote will have to wear a mask. No mask, no vote. Not, at least not inside the building. So let's see. I think that is all. I'm going to open up to questions.
Okay. Thank you, Randy. And I'll start with the vice president and work our way around like we always do. Valerie?
Yeah, I just had, it's really more like a observation, Randy. And that is, if you need anything from town council, please don't hesitate to ask. If there's anything that we can do to make your job easier so that we're safe. And this is done obviously fairly. So I know that's what we all want. And so if there's any way we can support you, don't hesitate, whether it be through an ordinance, granting you expanded authority to change where electioneering can occur, whatever might need to happen, just ask and we'll provide.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Barry. Charlie?
No, I just want to say, Randy, what a great job you guys have done. I know you have some good people on your team, but all the various ways to vote and make this process as easy as possible is kind of nice to see. I wish and hope that this happens in towns across the country, but thank you for your service.
Yeah, that's a great comment. It really is. Larry?
First of all, again, Randy, thank you for everything that you and the board is doing. It's just a great job. I never realized there was so much work that you guys put into this. But my understanding from reading the materials is that there will be no voting for town elections at the community center. It will only be a town hall. Is that correct?
That is correct. The county is not holding, that's not going to be one of their sites.
So
They
if I understand correctly, there will be voting for the national elections at the firehouse and at the community center, and then everybody will need to go to town hall to vote for the town.
No, Larry, that's incorrect. There are only 5 locations in Calvert County that you can go vote on election day. That's Prince Frederick, and I don't remember offhand, I don't remember the 4 high schools, but it is on their webpage. This is why we changed to town hall. It's because the county is not coming to the community center. They are not going to North Beach. They are not going to Beach Elementary.
Okay, thank you. Just one last question. Well, I think you just answered that. So there'll be no voting at the firehouse or the community center?
Or Beach Elementary, none of them.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Larry. It's good to make that public again. Mr. Morris?
Yeah, I just want to thank Randy and his crew. I know they've been working really hard for 3 years. Up to this point, this month and a half, 2 months is really all these 1,000 points of light coming together. I have fielded some questions from residents regarding voting in town, and really my primary response is we can trust Randy and his crew. So thank you.
Thank you.
Keith?
Thank you, Mayor. I have no additional questions. I really appreciate all the work you've done, Randy, and your team there. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thanks, Keith.
And lastly, Derek?
Yeah, likewise, just want to commend you, Randy, and your colleagues on the election board. You worked on a lot of the documents leading up to this for a couple of years, and here we are. So all your hard work over the last few years, which really didn't get recognized enough, is going to pay off here. So I want to thank you for that. I do just have one. I asked you to clarify one thing. So you mentioned the 3 days in the foyer of Town Hall, but I also noticed in your report that the registration deadline is actually October 13th. So someone coming to Town Hall on one of those 3 Saturdays won't actually be able to register. They have to already be registered, but they're just going to be asking for their absentee ballot. Is that correct?
That is correct. And to point something out with registration is we do have a town supplemental registration list. There's 1 person on it. The majority of us are on the, all but 1 of us registered voters for Chesapeake Beach is on the Maryland Universal thing, and my board doesn't control that.
Right. So anyone who wants to vote in our local elections has to register by the 13th. Is that?
Yes. And there are also, Ollie's got some great links on our website on how to get there and do that voting and even figure out whether you are registered.
Right. Great. Thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you, Derek. And thank you, Randy, again, for taking the time out of your evening to call in. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Randy.
Is Lee from the Census Department here?
I'm here, Mayor.
Lee, how you been?
All right, how you doing? Hold on, my it looks like my video camera is going in and out here.
There you go. Good to see you. Okay, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Council, Mayor, everyone. Before I get to the numbers, I just want to express my gratitude also on behalf of Quinn, who's out of town at right now. Thank you for the support for the entire year through events, the water park initiative, all the different things that you guys have done. Chesapeake Beach, Calvert County, all of Maryland really has been rocking it out. But again, we wouldn't be where we are today without partners and people that are commitment. And especially, I'd just definitely like to give a shout out to Holly, because I think she was the first person I really started working with over in Chesapeake Beach. And I mean, it's just been wonderful. Everyone's been wonderful. But now I'll get into the actual thing that I know everyone is wondering about. So the conclusion as of today for the census is on September 30th. We are aware there was a hearing and then there was a extension of the restraining order. So as of today, it still ends on the 30th. We are complying with the restraining order. But the message that I try to tell everyone is whether it's the 30th or 31st of next month, we don't want people to wait. We encourage people to complete their census today if they haven't done so. Time's running out, but it's not too late. As far as the numbers, national, we're at 66% across the United States. For Maryland, we're at 70.2%, which is doing really phenomenal. Calvert County is 74.4%. And for Chesapeake Beach, drum roll, 75.2%, which is a full 5% higher than the final 2010 self-response rate. So you guys have been doing extremely well. I only have to mention it because Councilman Larry was on the call for North Beach. Y'all are. I'll just say y'all are doing very well over them, and they know it too. So, but I love the friendly competition and stuff. Again, we just want to make sure people are counted. We have been in the top 10 self-response really for at least the past 8 weeks across the nation. More than 95.2% of our households have been accounted for in the state of Maryland. That includes 25.1% of non-response follow-up. The other two big couple of points here. So our homeless count is next week. That's the 22nd through the 24th, with the 24th being the one night all across the United States that we're going to go out into the areas like the woods, the parking lots, all the different areas to count our homeless population. And of course, we're notifying law enforcement, and different organizations that help with that count. So the biggest things, we want people to be safe, and that's why we want to get out early. That the 24th is when we'll be out overnight. We're in our last push action weekend this weekend. So you can look out if you happen to be on the road out in the community. We will be at the community shred at a Pill landfill on Saturday, 9 to 1. And then we'll be out at the Art Fest from 10 to 5 on Sunday. And all across the, not only Southern Maryland, all across the state, we're just out in the weekends doing MQAs and stuff like that. So again, pending your questions, I just want to end by saying thank you all again so much. We'll just keep pushing on. We'll keep pushing on. So thank you.
So Lee, before I ask the council to have any comments, starting with Councilman Favre, since this is our last meeting before September 30th, I want to once again, remind you and everybody that Mayor Benton and I do have that little side bet, crabs versus North Beach tacos. And from what I understand, he's already put his restaurants on alert to get them tacos rolling. So.
He did, Mayor. And I was trying to hold back, but he asked, and I was like, sorry, yeah, you may as well get ready. It's coming. It's going to happen.
So with that, Councilman Favre, do you have any comments?
No questions for Lee, but I do want to thank him for coming and visiting with us each month in our meetings. Even back when we were in chambers, you were there with us. So I appreciate you, working so closely with the town and keeping us informed of the progress, and so happy to see that we're doing so well.
All right. Thank you.
Keith?
Hi, thank you, Mayor. I do have one question. In terms of the number of people who voted and actually the people who have not voted? Is there any way to kind of tell, what groups are not being counted, I guess, at this point?
Yeah, so internally, we know every address that we have out there that may not have responded. That isn't something that we can put out there. But that's why we have the non-response follow-up. We kind of track that. We'll visit households multiple times. And honestly, it really is some encouragement. One of the things that I tell people and partners, sometimes you'll go to areas, whether it's an event or you go to a household, we want to encourage and really try to encourage, but we've definitely ran into some people who are just like, no matter what we say, they just don't want to listen to it and stuff. So we try as much as we can. The same thing, like I said, we'll go back out to households. If it comes to it, we'll talk to neighbors and stuff to try to obtain the information to make sure people are counted. But yeah, and that's the thing, that the best way to keep reaching out is, through council meetings like this, through outreach opportunities. Yeah, and like I said, while we know internally, and we definitely focus on those census tracts, we definitely go out to those census tracts that are low responding. So hopefully we will catch more of those individuals that may have not responded yet. And again, we're constantly trying to encourage them. Even if we run into them 2-3 times, we're still going to try to encourage them.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for coming and giving us the update.
Okay. Greg?
Yeah, Lee, just wanted to thank you. I know your group has been putting in a strong effort and push to try to get as many people to take part in the census. I know that me and colleagues have tried to get that message around as well. The 75% is real good. I know you said you were going to guarantee 95% at the beginning of all this, right?
I don't know about that. But I tell you what, one thing I will guarantee, just the way the response rate has been going, we're going to move upward. Self-response, total response, there's no doubt about it. We're going to move upward. And that's always the goal. Let's try to exceed what we have for that final total response rate in 2010. So I'll say that. I can't say to the other though, sir.
Well, I don't know if you can see my little sign in the background, right there on top of my finger, right above the world flag there. But look, thanks again for everything. I don't have any particular questions for you. Thank your colleagues for me, please. Thank you.
Roger that. Thank you.
Larry, any comments?
Just again, thank you, Lee. I know it's been a long haul for y'all and for Councilmember Bodine. I know both of you must be glad to see the end in sight. So thank you very much. And Lee, I hope we see you again after all this is done. But thanks for all that you did.
You will. Thank you. And yes, I am, while I'm not a Chesapeake resident, I'm a Calvert County resident. So I'm sure you'll see me around. You'll definitely be seeing me.
Good. When you're not working, that'd be great. Yeah. Charlie.
Yeah, it's sort of like, all these different projects come to a head. Here we are at the election committee and also the census, but a great job, you and Quinn. Thank you.
Thank you.
And lastly, your colleague from Census, Vice President Bodine.
Thank you, Lee. It has been a long ride, and really appreciate all the efforts. Appreciate Holly and her efforts and the whole complete count committee. And just thank you. I think we've done about as well as could be expected through all these trying times through COVID and such. Y'all did really well, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. And I just got to say, it's all of us. So I thank you all even more so.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks for taking time out of your night.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Okay. Next, we've got we're going to do a little presentation on the board initiative for the Kelms Field Revitalization Project. Just going to lead by, explaining to those who don't know, I approached Senator Miller. As we all know, Senator Miller has been the patron center for Chesapeake Beach and North Beach for many decades, and he still is. And I had approached him about the possibility of what they call a bond initiative up in Annapolis, but it's pretty much a grant about putting some money towards a project at Kelms Field, and when I met with Mike, I just explained that we had been talking about things like a senior, playground activity center, definitely refurbishing the tot lots, green space. We were working to get a, car charger station over there. And I will say, during that meeting, his staffer chimed in, oh, well, that's right up Mike's alley. He likes that stuff, children and families and seniors and, environmental stuff. So I had the feeling when Mike said he'd make it happen that it was going to happen. And that's the way it is with Senator Miller. And on March the 7th, I was able to go up to Annapolis at the Senate hearing boardroom, and I testified in front of the senators on this project. Senator Miller was there. He sponsored it, and obviously it happened. To the credit and of the town council, in our work session and also in our meeting where we voted, the town council not only matched the state, we doubled it. We wanted to stick aside more money. So while the state offered us a 50 grand versus 50 grand match, 50 plus 50, the council budgeted for 100 grand. So we actually have good money in our budget for this project. And I'm going to let Holly present the project and explain how we intend to get a citizen survey to get a better idea of exactly what the folks are, what they like over there. So Holly, if you will.
Great, thank you, Mayor. So this is a very exciting project for many reasons. This is the Senate bill, which itemizes out that it's a 50% contribution, as the mayor stated, matching fund. The town council actually budgeted for fiscal year 21 $100,000 in addition to that to revitalize the Kellums complex area. And really it's the center of town, and it's also the center of connectivity. So this area is the main focus of our Walkable Communities Committee group, and it's also a focus in our comprehensive plan update to establish connectivities to recreational areas within town. It's within walking distance of at least 90% of our town residents. And we have an existing play area currently that is experiencing the impacts of sea level rise. It's very wet. We have a lot of stormwater runoff issues within the area, which has kind of degraded the current setup that we have there. So we took a look at this project because what we have definitely needs improvement and revitalization. So the plan is to expand on what is currently there and also provide some low impact senior playground equipment. And that would be at the head of the railway trail and offer an opportunity for residents to walk and then stop and exercise there within that area, which also provides some green space. The green space would also provide our green team an opportunity to create some buffer gardens, some shaded area for residents to be able to join together. A kind of a community socialization area, a gathering place is what we were intending to create, and just promote a healthy lifestyle. So this has been an important project that's taken some effort to pull forward. We're working with our town engineer currently to take a look at some of the topographic studies of that area to determine some of the low-lying areas and make some repairs before we add the basis of this new project. But this is kind of a concept of what we're looking at, expand on areas that children can play, and then also add in the areas for some adult activity. In terms of community engagement, we have conducted surveys that were very successful with the community providing a lot of response that was really centered around wanting access to recreational green space. So this is really a response to that survey information, and we do plan to conduct some additional outreach and ensure that what we're installing in that space meets the needs of all of our citizens. In addition, we do have currently underway, it's in the permitting process right now. It's at no cost to the town. BG&E is installing electronic vehicle charging stations right in the area behind Fast Stop. So this is a project that is currently underway and is made possible with the Kellum's deed transfer from the county to the town. And we'll talk about that likely in the next town council meeting. And I'll turn it over to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Holly. Any comments from the council, starting with Valerie?
No, just thrilled to see this moving along. Look forward to as much resident and community input as possible. It looks promising.
Thank you. Charlie?
I have one comment and one concern I want to express. The comment is that, and Derek will echo this, we, as part of the walkable community work that we've done, we've been just really dying to have some targeted places for people to walk to. And this is just a home run for that. And so we're really, really excited about that. My concern is just on this last slide, Holly. I mean, the electric charging stations are just going to take up like 3 prime Taste the Beaches parking spots. But I guess we'll have to work around that.
That'll be your assignment. Thank you, Charlie. Larry?
I think it's a great idea. I look forward to the senior play area especially, and I look forward to these participating in the resident input. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Morris?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to comment on this. Sounds like the town has done a lot of legwork, and appreciate the effort that all of you have put into this. I'd like to specifically thank Senator Miller. He's a remarkable individual. There are a couple comments. It looks like the charging station's in pretty good location. The word revitalization kind of infers all encompassing. And to me, I think it would be important to have a comprehensive discussion regarding the use and layout of Kellum's Field with 20 years from now in mind. Community input certainly is vital. It sounds like they made a point regarding open space, and this is something that I've had taken issue with for 4 years being on council, and the largest green area in the map is under lock and key. And I hope that in moving forward and working out a forward-thinking plan here, that we can figure out a way to open up more of the green space for public use. That's going to be really important moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Keith?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I really like the direction this is moving, and I'm really glad we're looking to get more public input on exactly what folks want in there. And this is great. Thank you.
Good. And lastly, Derek?
Yeah, I just want to echo what Charlie said. From day one of the Walkable Communities Advisor Group, we used as a magnet this area of town, as our goal, to be able to get everyone in town to come to this area, not specifically for the things we talked about today per se, but it's nice to see that the vision, that we had there and visions that others had are kind of coming together roughly at the same time. And I'll have a little bit of update here shortly on that as well from our standpoint. But it's great to see that, all these things are coming together. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you. Next, and once again, thank you, Senator Miller. Next, a town administrator reports. Or anything that sticks out, Holly, that you care to share with the council?
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment and thank the Water Park and Bayfront Park staff, as well as our Public Works staff, who's been the backing as well to support these services for our residents. We really have been able to provide a safe and enjoyable summer for the town residents, as well as employment for approximately 180 local residents. And the staff have done just a great job mitigating safety concerns and just making sure that we made it through the summer. So I just wanted to thank them.
Well, thank you. Does the council have any questions of Holly? Hearing none. Public Works.
Mr. Mayor, Larry does.
Yes, sir. Mr. Larry does. Go ahead.
Yes, there's two things real quick. One is it looks like they're going to finally start construction at the Heritage, given the town permits list. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And second of all, on the Sustainable Maryland redesignation, let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Public Works Administrator's report. We've read Jay's report. Do we have any questions of Jay? I'll start with Derek if we do.
Nothing from me.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of Jay?
Just a comment.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Jay, I see where you're looking for some underground current that's causing some problems for you. It's an issue that's interesting that's come up on a couple of projects that lately that I've been affiliated with, and they've boiled down to being failed transformers, the responsibility of the utility company. Just, I'm sure you probably were looking at those angles, but if you haven't, it might be worthwhile considering that. That's all. I know you got your hands full. Thanks for all your hard work.
Yeah,
I
I
was-
appreciate that, Greg. We've had
I was gonna bring
actually
that up
had
as-
BG&E come out and check a couple, so I'm moving beyond that. It might be due to the county code grounding the plumbing out to the electrical panel in some of these condo units is what I'm looking into, but I'm gonna figure it out before it's over.
Okay. There wasn't any connection between this problem and the electrical problems we had at the treatment plant, is there?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
that was a different one.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Water reclamation treatment plant report. We've read John's report. Do you have any questions of John? Hearing none. Thank you, John.
Just one comment, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
We all know how much rain we've had in the last month, and I just once again want to point out no spills during that whole period. Congratulations, John, and to your staff.
Indeed, John does a great
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, John. Code enforcement report. We read Connie's report. Any questions for Connie? Hearing none. Town treasurer's report. We have none, but Dale, do you have anything that you want to share with the council? That will be Dale Clark. I think he's probably trying to talk. We'll get back to Dale.
Mr. Mayor, can you hear me?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, it muted. Sorry about that. If I could just make one comment. We talked briefly about the water park. We are finalizing the numbers for the water park for the season. And if I could, I'd like to provide to you and town council next month an update on the season.
That would be great, sir. Thank you very much. Town engineers report. We read the report. Any questions from the council? If not, we'll go to deputy's report. And the deputy, do we have any questions or concerned? I believe Lieutenant Holliger's on the call.
Question.
Please, Greg.
Lieutenant, good evening. Just wanted to inquire the recent car thefts in Richfield Station, if there was any update on that.
Yeah, we've had I think it was 7 or 8 thefts out of vehicles and at least 1 theft of a vehicle that I can think of. The vehicle's been recovered. We have 2 suspects. Unfortunately, they live in Washington, D.C., and we haven't been able to locate them yet. So I've enlisted the help of our Criminal Investigations Bureau, and they're trying to help us track them down. So I'll keep you posted on that. One trend that we did notice is the thefts out of vehicles that we've had in the past seem to occur on rainy nights. So I've got extra patrol checks in Richfield Station tonight because it for whatever reason, maybe these suspects think it's a little easier to skulk around on a rainy night. I don't know. But I just want to remind everybody to lock your vehicles. They haven't broken a single window out of any car. It's just unlocked vehicles that they're breaking into. So, but other than that, all remains quiet in Chesapeake Beach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed. North Beach Volunteer Fire Department, if we have any questions, please direct them to Larry. Thank you, Larry, which leads to the mayor's report. And just a few things that I want to say as we wind down this this term of this current administration. I've been fond of saying sometimes in the past that, you know, Chesapeake Beach is like a three-legged stool. You know, the town council, the town staff, and the town citizens that include volunteer boards are what, you know, it's the meat and potatoes of the town. So I want to just begin by thanking the town council for all the many achievements that they've had over these past 4 years. I plan to laud your achievements, you know, these next 6.5 weeks on the campaign trail. And I just want to thank you for giving me a lot to talk about. Next, I want to thank the town administrator and the town staff for all they've done, you know, these 4 years. Hollywell runs the town efficiently, transparent, and businesslike, where the residents are our #1 customer. The entire staff has moved forward with her in lockstep. It's been truly amazing, and I thank all of you. And last but certainly not least, you know, I want to, as I wind down, I want to thank the citizens and the volunteer boards for their unwavering, you know, support and dedication of their time. So that's a mouthful, and that is my mayor's report. So moving on, we have no resolutions and ordinances. Planning and zoning, they have a meeting scheduled for September the 23rd. Board of Appeals, they did hold a meeting on September the 3rd. Economic Development Committee, Larry, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, you've got a report attached to your files. I just wanted to touch on a couple things in the report. One is I want to echo the mayor's sentiments on thanking so much to Holly and town hall staff for all the assistance you've been providing to local businesses and residents during this COVID. Been trying to do as good a job as sharing information I've been getting from the county and elsewhere that could be passed along, and Holly and Sharon and everyone's been doing a great job. Participated in a couple of webinars having to do with climate change. One of them involved Ben Grumbles from the Department of the Environment, and the other was Russell Strickland from the Maryland Emergency Management Agency. So learned some interesting stuff there. As a warning to Chris Jakubiak, I took and passed a course associated with the Virtual Planning Commissioner training, so he should be on watch the next time we have a meeting. Participated in a virtual smart growth hosted by the state of Maryland. 14 state departments were involved in that. Progress is continuing on the Twin Beaches Library. You'll see on the town website, thank you, Holly, that there's additional webinars planned for Wednesday, the 14th. I also participated in a webinar on the new Beach Elementary School. If you haven't seen any of those plans, it's amazing what the plan is for the new Beach Elementary School. There was a hearing before the Town Board of Appeals on August 18th to consider 2 zoning variances, but it's really exciting. And then I had 2 meetings of the other committee I'm on, the Calvert County Economic Development Advisory Committee. Just a reminder, unfortunately, this Saturday was supposed to have been Taste the Beaches 4. In an abundance of caution, we decided to cancel that for this year. So we'll look forward to seeing everybody next year. And the last thing I had, just for information, if you haven't seen it already, the State of Maryland Department of Transportation has come out with, this is not in the report, come out with an update on the new Bay Bridge study. What I consider to be good news is the one option they had, which would have come right through Veterans Park to connect to Route 260, has been dropped. There are only 3 options left, and they basically are all centered around the existing bridge spans to the north of us. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Twin Beach Opioid Abuse Awareness Coalition.
Thank you, Mayor. As most of you know, the coalition has been out of action due to COVID-19 since sponsoring the well-received wellness fair back in March of 2019. But I'm happy to say we're back. We're back in action, and we've been busy the last several weeks. We held a virtual meeting on July 3rd, during which we decided to host a Light Up the Beaches Purple event in recognition of International Recovery Awareness Day, which was August 31st, and Recovery Awareness Month, which is September. And we wanted to do something impactful yet safe during the pandemic to raise awareness about the opioid crisis and show our support for those impacted by opioid use disorder. And I think we did that thanks to the committee and the town. I really appreciate the support of the mayor and Holly and the staff getting those purple lights up. I have to recognize Sandy Mattingly, who suggested we do this and really helped us pull it off. Sneed's Ace Home Center partnered with us, provided bulbs at cost, 300 bulbs. And then we distributed those out to the community, and it was well received. We were able to distribute all of those bulbs. And then on August 31st, Dr. Fuller from the Calvert County Health Department helped us kick off the event with a presentation highlighting the state of the opioid crisis here in the county and some of the recovery resources that are available. That was recorded, and I believe it is on the town website now, if you didn't get a chance to see it. And so we were really thrilled. And if you've probably seen those purple lights out there, and we really appreciate all the council members putting up theirs. I got some snapshots of those, and we put some up on our the opioid awareness website. And I know it meant a lot to the people out there. The folks who came to pick up light bulbs were really moved, and we hope it'll be even bigger, next year. And also wanted to give a little shout out for Dr. Fuller and the Calvert County Health Department. And he manages the Recovery Rapid Response Mobile Crisis Team. Their phone number is 877-467-5628. And of course, they provide rapid access to substance use and or mental health treatment. They will show up at your location if needed. They work 7 days a week. They can get you into medication-assisted treatment. They can help you get peer support, and they can provide Narcan kits. So if you know someone who is struggling with opioid use disorder, please share that number with them. Also, another resource is the hopeforcalvert.org website. That is hope, the number 4, calvert.org. And they have a calendar on there that lists a lot of the events that revolve around substance use disorders, as well as mental health issues and other kind of social issues. And so it's a great resource if you want to see what's going on in the county and participate in any of that. Coming up on September 27th from 9 to 12 p.m. is This Is Me Color Run, Happy, Healthy, Substance Free. It's sponsored by Positive Vibes, and folks can learn more about this by going to the website and reading their information. The event will adhere to all COVID-19 guidelines with regard to wearing of masks and social distancing. And our next meeting is to be decided, so keep an eye out in one of the email blasts the town sends out. We'll have information about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keith. Derek, Walkability Community Advisory Group.
Yeah, thank you. And before I get into that, I just want to thank Keith again and his group. I just wanted to let you know, I had a number of residents reach out to me after the Purple Light event. And they, they told me their story and how their families had been impacted by the crisis, and they were just really overwhelmed by, driving around town and seeing the purple lights. They really thought that was great that you guys did that. And I just wanted to share that with you because that was something that they came to me directly, and I wanted to share that with you directly.
Thank you.
Moving on to Walkable Community Advisory Group. So as you heard from Keith, we haven't actually met as a group since the pandemic hit as well, but that doesn't mean work has stopped. In fact, it continued the whole time with our planning firm. And Holly and I have a meeting tomorrow with them to review their progress on the Walkable Community Master Plan. I fully expect that we'll be able to distribute that to our Walkable Communities group next week for their review and input. And once that's done and their comments are incorporated, we still plan to move it out for public review and comment before we move to finalize it. So again, we've had little to show over these last few months, but we're actually coming to a very important point in our efforts to develop that master plan. And again, our planning firm has been working hard with that. She's worked with Chris as well to link our master plan with the comprehensive plan and the work that our planning zoning commission is doing. So I'd say we're getting very close to, again, soliciting public comment on that, which is going to be very exciting to get the public's view on what we think is a really nice plan for the future of our town.
Thank you, Derek. No unfinished or new business. Now we go to public comment. Is there anybody on the call who would care to make some public comment? Hearing none. I heard a bit.
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Pat. Nice to see you again.
My pleasure. Please state your name and address for the record.
Monique Lightheart, 7609 B Street.
Right. Is your residence?
Not my primary residence, my secondary residence. And so I wanted to get a little conversation going on code. Because in Annapolis last year, we went through all these meetings about Airbnbs, and but it was never brought up under code, because residential, you cannot change residential. You cannot make Airbnbs commercial. That is not how the code is registered. This town has always been a tourist town, and second home or primary vacation homes have been a history of Chesapeake Beach. And especially now during COVID, I mean, I'm totally complying. The home inspector was here at my house today. He did the inspection, Michael, very nice. And I changed my settings to 30 days minimum. But I've been talking to the local businesses. I've been talking to the restaurants, and they're going to be hurting. We're already all hurting. And because of COVID especially. So why has there been sort of a witch hunt started against short-term vacation rentals when we all need this business the most now? I just don't understand. This is hurting Chesapeake Beach. This is not for the common good, and it's hurting, all the local businesses. It's the restaurants, it's the shops, it's the ice cream stores, it's the gas stations. It's all of us are going to be hurting with this kind of decision. So I'm hoping we can have some conversation on this and not just say, okay, we changed the code and now short-term vacation rentals, which are people's primary homes too, their second homes historically has been residence, not commercial.
Well, thank you.
I'm a little sad about this.
Thank you for your comment. Is there any other public comment from anybody else on the call? Hearing none, we'll move to council lightning round.
I have something.
Okay, sir, please.
Sure.
I do actually have a couple comments as well, and kind of.
Okay, hold on a second. Here, things move slow with
Josh Johnson.
Okay, I want to start over again, and bear with me because.
Yep, and I'm at 38, 30, and I am a resident.
Okay.
What's that?
1 second, sir. I guess.
Can you hear me?
With the virtual meeting, we may be a couple seconds behind. Please state your name and address, sir.
Joshua Johnson, 3818 26th Street.
Okay, very good.
Here in Chesapeake Beach, and that is my primary residence.
And
I came to this community a number of years ago on the idea with good schools, knowing that there was a bit of a sketchy past of 25 years ago, and I came here on the idea for the better of my kids, for obviously what I saw as being able to invest in the community as well as live here. And it's been great so far. And kind of mirroring what Monique said, especially when vacation rentals were here far before the Rod and Reel Club, far before even individuals' residences themselves, was extremely shocked that we had a ban per se on vacation rentals, when in essence vacation rentals were here and were as prominent as the Chesapeake Bay itself. So definitely like to be able to have an open forum that we can discuss this. You know, mentioned a few things also with Greg. There's a petition that's out there. There's more than 15% of, I think, 2,200 individuals that have looked at the petition, and over 600 so far have signed up either on paper or virtually. So when you're looking at the feasibility and the impact there to our tourism, which is millions of dollars between the taxes that we accrue by having better homes. I did talk to Sheriff Mike Evans in regards to the vacation rentals, and he said that he has had no complaints throughout COVID, on record saying that was all the way back in February. So I'm unsure exactly where we are in regards to some of the ideology that is involved in essence banning them. And as far as COVID is concerned, I do definitely appreciate that. But one of the concerns that I would have, if in fact we were so impassioned closing Airbnbs, which is viable not only for the person that has the taxes that they have for the property, the taxes that they have that are taxable with people staying, and the revenues that we generate, would we all be in the same public forum to be voting? I would think with COVID, it would be fairly inconsistent to have all of us in one place voting if in fact that we were concerned with COVID with individuals in groups and places here. I mean, the beaches were closed down just like they were other places. So that would be my concern too. And I know being in a public sector is not an easy thing, and trying to look at information viably and for the betterment of everyone, it is hard. My heart goes out, hands go up for all of you to be able to try to make the best decisions for the community. It's not always easy. Knowing that there's millions of dollars at stake that help the schools that our kids go to, that help the streets and other things. We'd definitely like to be able to have a conversation and a moratorium too, as well on the ban, to be able to really look into trying to apply a commercial code to residential property, let alone, I've been in the vast majority of restaurants. Pat, I think you've been in Mama Lucia's, and with 90% capacity down to zero now, it was, in meeting with one of the board members, it was stark reality to what it should be. They should be busy, as well as these other local businesses, and that's what I want to be a part of. And I want to be a part of it with you. So I appreciate the opportunity to say something, and I hope that we can move forward together.
I appreciate your public comment. Is there anybody else on the call that has a public comment?
Yes, I have a public comment. My name is Shad Montague. I have a house at 3802 East Chesapeake Beach Road, and I'm sure that several of you could say that that property was an eyesore before I purchased the property and did like over $100,000 in repairs to the property.
If you could, sir, could you state your primary address?
My primary address or my address in Chesapeake Beach?
The primary address.
My primary address is 6201 Ray Norwood Road in Prince Frederick.
Thank you.
Sure. And we've spent a ton of money in the city, and we've done several different things for the area to make sure that the properties are in good condition. I can guarantee you that we're complying with everything that's been involved. My wife and I have both, I guess my wife has sent in everything. We are complying with the inspections. We're complying with everything involved with that. And I guess it's concerning to us in the manner in which this was presented. And we'd like to be able to have a voice in the properties that we own in that area. And it's a concern for us and that's the purpose of why we're here today, and that's why we want to speak up, and we want others to speak up and express that. Honestly, it's really costing the city a lot of money. I read several different things on there where people were saying that there was no value in it, and if there was no value in it, then places like Myrtle Beach and the Outer Banks wouldn't comply with it. So I don't really understand. That's not a logical statement. So I guess what we would like to do is we'd like to find a way to add on to whatever we need to do to bring this up to move forward in one way or the other.
Thank you for your public comment. Is there anybody else on the call that has any public comment? Hearing none, we'll move to the council lightning round. I'll start with Valerie.
Hi, yes. First of all, I want to thank the public for coming in and commenting. Heard your comments. Look forward to having future discussions on this topic because I also have very strong feelings about it. And I want to take an opportunity to thank everyone, whether it be the water park staff in Maryland or Jay through Public Works and John. It's been a really successful, I think, term and a wonderful town council to work with so far, and the mayor. And so I just wanted to say thank you. And I look forward to future discussions on this issue. So have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Valerie. Charlie?
Yeah, I had an interesting exchange today. I wanted to share something. I was talking with some folks with whom I work, most of whom are remote. So people I work with are kind of distributed really all over the world, but particularly up in New York City. And there's a big set of campus locations up there that are part of the CUNY system, the City University of New York system. And they have just announced their plans for reopening, which frankly, as good a job as New York State, New York City has done, continue to be pushed out. So they're going to remain closed probably for a good part of even spring semester. And what it really brought home to me, and what I'd like to say, is that I feel like the mayor, the town council, the town administrator, and folks running the water park, everyone has really done a great job at striking a balance between safety and, providing access and service to the citizens. I think that the controlled access to Brownies Beach and the water park, some of the other outdoor resources has really been successful. We've done it in a safe way. And moving forward, I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to, hopefully be able to open more things and open some new resources at Kellum's Field and so on. So I think that that's something that mayor and the town council and town administrator should really take some credit for. Thanks.
Thank you, Charlie. Larry?
Wanted to echo previous sentiments on thank you, Keith, for your efforts in the light up the town. I thought it was very impressive on what you were able to pull off there, so thank you. I know Mr. Bacon did not join us tonight, but I wanted just for the record to thank John for all his efforts on CBOX. The attachment to our materials for tonight was very interesting to me to go through all the details of that. I wanted to thank the three public speakers for sharing your thoughts. Appreciate that. It's always good to hear from the public. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, Saturday was supposed to have been Taste the Beaches 4, but as I'm sure you are all aware, it is also National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Greg?
Yeah, I wanted to mention a comment that was actually in the water park report that they did not have any COVID-19 events there, and that the health department in the county never called to get any list for contact tracing. And that's a big deal. I know that we pulled back from what the state was going to allow us to have there, which I thought was a very good idea. We found a way to keep Brownies Beach open to town residents, which was a big deal too. I wanted to address the speakers tonight regarding the Airbnb. And one thing that I want to start off with is that I've heard a few times here that they kind of disagreed with the way the code was pushed through, and maybe there wasn't, maybe, I don't want to say underhanded, that's not the right word, and nobody used that word with me. I want to be frank about that. But I want to unequivocally state that I felt that that process we went through was a good, solid process. In my opinion, we weren't trying to sneak anything through or do anything like that. That's important for everybody to understand. But with all due respect to the opposition in town, we were aware that there's a petition out there At first, I kind of dismissed it. I want to be honest about this, and we all need to be honest. I did read the petition. It's a little, there's some language in there that's compelling. It's signed by, I'm particularly interested in what the town residents and the town businesses feel about this. I know there's a lot of signatures on there, but we're in the business here to guide Chesapeake Beach, what's best for its residents there. The petition does have over 500 signatures, and it is important to listen. Let's see. I feel we need to have an open discussion about it at the appropriate time. And I would say the appropriate time would be in time to debate this properly, hopefully in open forum, and come to some kind of resolution. Maybe there's a lot of middle ground. I could be frank about that too. But if the town were to agree on any in any capacity to allow the Airbnbs, it needs to be done in a way so that bookings can be done in time for the season coming up. Having a policy in place by May doesn't allow bookings to start until May. And I'm not trying to rush anything. And I did meet with Mr. Johnson and Monique, and I really appreciated. I learned a lot from them about a lot of different things, and I want to thank them for that time in inviting me. But this is likely something for the next council, and hopefully this is on the agenda for discussion early after the elections. And I want to thank Keith for the purple lights. I think I might have grabbed the last two that were available. Me and my neighbor have them. We've both been affected by the opioid issues, and we've got family members that have died and have been horribly affected. And so Keith pushing through with that, that's a tough fight to keep going. Keith is the guy for it. And I'm all for Keith Pardiak on that stuff. And that's really all I have. I want to appreciate the mayor for the opportunity for these lightning rounds. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Keith.
Well, thank you, Greg, and thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to talk here. And I'd also like to thank the folks who took the time to make public statements. I appreciate that. I'm starting to learn more about this, and I look forward to hearing more. I have two suggestions for town council meetings, Mayor, that I'd like to put forward for consideration. One is that the green team is added to town council agendas under the reports of officers, boards, and committees, so that they have an opportunity to report out to the town council and the town like the other committees. I think that would be great. I'm certainly interested in hearing more about what they've been working on, and I'm sure the townsfolk would appreciate that too. And I would also like to suggest that with the Public Work Administrator's report, that a line item is added kind of similar to what is done for the railway trail for the Bayfront Park area, so that we get a report about what's happening in the Bayfront Park each month, whether that's the boardwalk itself or the park or just what's going on. But that's kind of, I think both those things will help add to improve communication and transparency with what's going on in the town. And with that, I hope you all stay safe and have a good month.
Thank you, Keith.
Thanks.
And lastly, Derek.
Yes, like my colleagues, I want to thank the three members who spoke tonight from the members of the public. That's probably a record, certainly this year, maybe in a while, that we've had three speakers speak for us. You know, this is obviously very important to you, and I appreciate you taking the time to join us in sharing your perspective. You know, I've said it, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, and whether it's inherited legislation or legislation that we've passed in our administration, you know, if we can make it better, we should have that conversation. So I'm all for continuing this conversation, and you know, if something makes sense for the community as a whole, then you know, we should look into that. So I'm happy to continue to have this conversation. Again, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And also, it's been said as well, but I wanted to congratulate Marilyn and our Bayfront Park staff. It seems like almost just last week. It's been a couple months, but it seems like last week we were debating if we were going to be able to open the water park and Bayfront Park at all. And we did. And we were, I think some of us were a little nervous. Some who had more of a direct hand in it, really put the burden on their shoulders and ran with it. And, as was mentioned already, not only was there no issues at the water park, but there was even, no contact tracing, which just signals that the job that Maryland and all of our local residents who work there just did a fantastic job. And I do also know from comments I've received from residents that they really appreciated the opportunity to have essentially the park to themselves. That's something we've talked about in the past of, having more resident days. And, due to circumstances beyond our control, we had a lot of them this year. And it was very well appreciated from the comments I've received. And that's something I think we should consider, even when we get back to, quote unquote, normal times. We should consider, rewarding our residents appropriately that way. And the same with Bayfront Park. That's a small beach, but there were really, I didn't hear really any issues at all. So again, testament to the staff out there and everyone in Town Hall making that happen. So congratulations to all of you. Job well done.
Thank you, Derek. Is there a motion to adjourn?
You too, Joe.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks.
Hey.